Hey, this is Smooth Tim and Larry E, and welcome to another episode of Tim's Tidbits. What's happening, Larry? How you doing, bud?
Man, all right, hanging out, hanging in, same old, same old. You know how we do it here.
Absolutely. Hey, man, how's things down in the in Texas, south of the border?
Out the weather. We don't know whether it's gonna be hot, cold, freezing. I don't know. I just
Man,
bring my suitcase with me every day. That's all I do. I can't pack a suitcase.
y'all, you're right. You guys got cold weather right now?
It was cold. It was like 32 degrees, and then it went up to 75. Then it rained, then it went back down to 20, maybe 29. Then it, I don't know. We,
I don't know what the hell's
I don't
going
know.
on.
Yeah.
No, man. I mean, it's like we're at I think 12 degrees. Got about 10, 12 inches of snow on the ground.
Oh man, well, you enjoy Texas right now. We just
Oh, I
trying to
bet I
figure out what
love
we're
it.
gonna do.
I love it. Hey, man, as we talk, it's ironic to me as we talk, over the past several months since we've been doing the show, and how it just seems like the same shit keeps going on and on. There's like no
Yeah,
end to
yeah,
it. It is absolutely amazing to me how, even when it comes to, our number one topic and going to Russia, I don't remember how long ago did we discuss this?
it was a while. It was a few shows back.
We talked about what's going on and, with the invasion of Ukraine. And what's interesting is I don't think Putin's going to give an inch on this thing. And I see that on tonight's news, and I didn't know if you had the opportunity to catch it, but, Biden's on there, we're sending all kinds of military over there. We're sending all kinds of weaponry over there. And the only thing that I do know that we're not doing is, stepping foot on Ukraine ground at the moment.
Yeah, because we're allies, and if you're an ally with another country, you have to support them. Whether you like it or not, you have to support that country, and that's the bad part about it. So we can get involved, but then we can't get involved. We will get involved, then we won't get involved. Because they were saying Biden says if it really actually happens and the whole invasion occurs, it's going to change the world. Of course, we're going to go to war. You have to go to war.
Yeah, I think that there's so many. I look at it as possibly going into a World War III. I mean,
Yeah,
I can't see it being a localized event. That's going to be over in a year or two. It's going to be, we're already attacking each other, obviously, when it comes to these cyber hacks. I don't think that that's a one-way street either.
no,
And, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. I got a short little video of a military individual that kind of discusses what and why all this BS is going on.
We begin with the latest on tensions between the U.S. and Russia, as military intelligence says Russian troop presence is growing on the Ukrainian border.
President Biden said today if Russian President Vladimir Putin decides to invade Ukraine, it would change the world.
There will be enormous consequences if he were to go in and invade, as he could, the entire country, or a lot less than that as well, for Russia, not only in terms of economic consequences and political consequences, but it'll be enormous consequences worldwide.
The president says his administration has no intention of putting American or NATO forces in Ukraine, but is looking at imposing sanctions on Russia. Tonight, our Lydia Esparra spoke with a military expert who says it may be too late for diplomacy.
We could not stop a Russian invasion of Ukraine. It's impossible.
To understand the Ukraine and Russia tension, you have to go back to the beginning.
Ukraine has typically been part of the Russian Empire. And then with the rise of the USSR in 1917.
Stephen Olewich is a retired Army lieutenant colonel, also a former professor and assistant dean at West Point. He's a military expert of Eastern Europe and the Middle East. The Iron Curtain, as it was called, was the political military boundary dividing Europe into two separate areas. He says the Soviet Union was dissolved and Ukraine and other small USSR republics became independent. Ukraine was one of them, but they are not part of NATO. Ukraine wanted to dissolve the agreement, allowing Russia to be stationed there. The Kremlin decided to take Crimea and annexed it before this could happen.
Ukraine does not want to be part of Russia again. Is that correct?
No, Ukraine does not want to be part of Russia. Ukraine wants to be an independent state that's in control of its own destiny.
And invading Ukraine, says Olewich, has always been an option for Russia.
I don't think Russia's goal is to make Ukraine Russia. I think their goal is simply to keep it out of NATO.
And why are they specifically targeting Ukraine?
They also use it and see it as a buffer between Russia and the what are quickly becoming enemies to the West. I believe that that is their main goal, to keep that separation.
A separation that will keep the U.S. and NATO from having bases in Ukraine, possibly stationing strategic weaponry facing Russia.
Based on a long military history, visiting Russia, working with the Russians in the Balkans, is my opinion, given the rhetoric, given how their military is poised, how they're bringing troops right now, I think that they will invade. Whether they want to occupy the whole country, I don't know.
Lydia Esparra, 3 News.
Boom. I kind of understand where he's coming from. I mean, and there's going to be probably a lot of Americans going, "You Russian sympathizer," but as we discussed, I said, what's the difference if we have somebody in our neighboring Canada or Mexico? We would be a little bit uncomfortable.
Yeah, when you start invading other countries or cities or whatever, you start doing that, it's always a problem. And it's something they're not telling us. I think there's something else going on.
Oh, well, that's always, Larry. You're 100% on that. I mean, there's always the behind the curtain. Don't look at the man behind the curtain bullshit.
Yeah,
Watch
it's something.
I mean, yeah, it's the same. Yeah, you're 100 on that.
How do we know this invasion is not a buffer? How do we know this is not a smokescreen, you know?
For what the real objective may be.
Yeah.
I mean, now you have some on the left that think exactly that. You know, that there's a lot of other reasons, you know, and it doesn't have really jack shit to do with Russia, so to speak.
Yeah, something is fishy about this whole thing, and then you start getting Biden talking. We had to say something anyway. He's a brand new president, so we have to put his 2 cents in. But there's something deeper going on that's going to affect all these other countries. It's going to affect the United States too eventually. It's going to come down to money too. Watch.
And you know, hey, I want to play a real quick one, and I don't know if you follow the Fox network. But they always have a beautiful opinion on what's going on, especially when it comes to Biden. Let's listen to this guy.
Wait a second. Why is it disloyal to side with Russia, but loyal to side with Ukraine? They're both foreign countries that don't care anything about the United States. Kind of strange.
What a stupid son of a bitch.
Oh, oops. But, no, I mean, there's a lot. That's this Tucker Carlson. And and did you catch? Yeah, well, and Biden's remark, I think that was to a reporter. I don't know how that all fell together like that, but in any event. There are always economic reasons for everything that happens, and like we discussed, now think about what they can do to Russia when they start talking economic sanctions. I mean, they could tie up all their money.
Yeah, they can find some ways to shut them down or just try to convince them.
So that's why I don't think it's going to get real ugly, but I can understand that there's going to have to probably be some concessions. And I believe, listening to some earlier conversations by people, it's going to be 10, 15 years down the road anyhow before NATO would bring Ukraine in.
Yeah, and what Russia's doing, they're just trying to bully a smaller country. They just being immature and making. Honestly, you can at the point we are now in our lives as humans or as generals or leaders, you're supposed to talk about stuff like that. Like, let's get tanks. That's road tanks. It's a waste of resources, waste of time, and everything. Russia's just plain being stupid. That's all it is.
Yeah, but who's making money?
I'm telling you, that what I was told. They said when there's
let me
blood in the streets.
Let me propose that question to you. When it comes to sending all that military aid over there, who's making money?
The United States gonna make money. There's got to be some kind of kickback. The United States
that shit ain't free, obviously. Yeah, come on.
Yeah, they're not gonna help anybody if there's nothing in it for them. I know our country. If there's something in it for us, we will get involved. So it's got to be something. Is it personal kickback or a governmental kickback or a union kickback to the United States? Well, there's something.
If somebody knows, there's a number there at the top of the screen, 817-602-0577. You call and let us know exactly what the real freaking reason is.
Yeah, fill us in with this.
We'd love to really know,
Especially from the Ukraine or, or Russia. Call.
Yeah, I get tired of the magic acts. I'd like, some real truth once in a while.
You can be angry. You can be funny. just be real. What you call in.
There you go. Hey man, let's move on from what the hell's going on there to what's going on here. And I understand now we got a new freaking variant in the United States.
Here we go.
I'm having trouble keeping up with them. But in any regard, they're calling this one the stealth variant. And it is now with us.
Now to the coronavirus. Santa Clara County confirming 2 cases of a new COVID strain being called the stealth Omicron. That's because it could be harder to detect. KPX5's Andrea Nakano on what doctors are saying and what this means for the pandemic.
In technical terms, this mutation of the Omicron variant is called BA2. So far, there are only 11 cases in California, but the concern is this is even more transmissible than the original Omicron.
It spread from about, maybe 20% of the sequences in December to then 45%, the second week of January, and now it's up to 65% of the cases in Denmark.
UCSF infectious disease specialist Dr. Peter Chin-Hong has been looking at data from abroad to learn more about the stealth Omicron.
We don't think it's causing more severe disease from the initial analysis from Denmark, and I'm confident that our current vaccines will work at protecting most people from getting into the hospital.
This new mutation didn't come as a surprise to those in the medical field, including Stanford Health's infectious disease specialist, Dr. Yvonne Maldonado.
I have no illusions that this virus is going to disappear anytime soon.
As long as the virus has the ability to spread, it carries the potential to mutate. Doctors feel vaccines are the best way to slow down the virus.
I do think that if we were more vaccinated, that would help. But remember, it's not just the U.S. We have to make sure everybody in the world gets access to vaccines.
As doctors learn more about coronavirus, Dr. Maldonado hopes there will be a shift in the approach to this pandemic. The goal is to have the data to be able to focus on those that are most vulnerable.
How can we predict who are people who are going to get most symptomatic and potentially hospitalized, not run the risk of winding up on a ventilator? And there's going to be more and more information that shows us who are those people at high risk.
Andrea Nakano, KPIX5.
Whambo.
Man, you know what? I think they're reading into it too much. We know there's a COVID virus. Okay. We know that. And we know that it can mutate. But I think those doctors are just doing more research, pulling up more variants, more things or whatever, because that's their job to do that.
Yeah, I find it kind of interesting too, and I guess, I think we could maybe talk about the flu virus and kind of correlate the two. And you may have had, an Asian flu or, a Spanish flu, but I don't remember all these variations, to the flu virus. you know, maybe it
Man,
did,
Tim,
maybe it did morph, you know, and I, excuse me, I just didn't, you know, was not rather made aware of it. Like you say, they're making a big deal and making us ultra aware of all the various variations that are going on now.
well, it gives them a chance to make more money, pull in more research dollars, and they have more time to collect money themselves, and they have a job. So it's their job to find these variants, to find these different COVIDs. It's their job, so they're going to find them. I guarantee you that 2 or 3 years down the line, they're going to be told, "We found another one. We found another one. We found another one."
Well,
But
think
it's not
about
as
that
deadly.
too. Yeah, well, think about that too. And we had this discussion, my God, you know, several months back in regards to the money that Pfizer and them are making off of this.
Then they said this other doctor said she has her own vaccine that she can use. Did she say that? Because I
Yeah.
didn't hear her say Pfizer.
No, she had something else that she was talking about, right? Yes. I can't recall it right off the top of my head. But yeah. You're 100% on that. Yeah. But I mean, you know, it's absolutely insane to me. And have you gotten your home test kit?
No, I went and just went. They got tested. Went to my doctor and just did it the right way.
Oh, I didn't know if you had signed up for the home test kit or not to get, you know.
No, I just did it the
you
right
can
way. I
call
wasn't
the,
taking any chances.
what is it? COVID.gov, COVID-19.gov.
Yeah,
and you
I'm a
can get
personal
your-
trainer. I just in a podcast co-host. I don't test kits. I don't mess with a pregnancy test kit.
You don't want to ram that up your nose?
No, I'm not doing no Emina test kit. I'm not doing that. I let them take care of it, the professionals.
Man, hey, also, I see on the news tonight, I don't know if they're doing that down there, is now you can walk in and get 3 N95 masks at Kroger. They'll give you you can walk in and get your free N95s. Up to 3.
Up to 3 masks?
Up to 3 masks.
Oh, I don't know, man. It came, it hit, it's real, but this extension, this thing got more extensions than girls' hair in the hood.
Let me ask you a question, and do you wear a mask when you go into public? Like into a Kroger's or into a large place?
Sometimes I forget, even though I went and got my shots and everything like that. Sometimes I forget, and I'm like, man, I forgot. But I ain't gonna lie, I feel safer that since I've been, I don't want to say vaccinated because you vaccinate animals, you don't vaccinate humans. You know what I'm saying?
Immunized.
So, So I feel safer, but I still feel guilty if I walk in without it because that's something that we should have, whether you vaccinated or not.
Well, I think that's human. Occasionally, it's not anything that we've had in our life forever.
It's not. If you go back to,
and if you're in a rush and you just boom, and I can see that happening. But yeah, I mean, I'm fully vaxxed and I wear my mask, and still, you know, like you say, there's an occasion I might run into the corner store real quick, and you're in there and like shit. You know.
Hey, what's the first thing you do? You see everybody with theirs on, you be like, "I hope there's another person here without a mask." Okay, there we go. I feel comfortable now. I'm not the only one.
Yeah. I remember seeing that kind of shit when they first came out with the you got to wear a mask in here, and people just come up and pull their shirt up over their face.
There are people putting bra cups on their face.
You watch damn
so you they get
protesting
mad.
it.
Get out! What about this? No, get out! Come on, dude.
But you know, come on. I think that's something I truly believe that people should do. And really, that should not be a matter of your little personal freedom. When you're into a large area where there's a gathering of people, you should have on a mask.
You
now,
should.
When it comes to inoculation, that's a personal choice.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because I don't know how it's going to affect you. I don't know your family history. I don't know your religious beliefs. Right. So that's up to you. However, what should not be up to you is the courtesy towards other people.
Yeah, protect everybody else's safety is. If you don't cherish your own, then at least have the respect for someone else. You know, that's the best.
Yeah, that's my standpoint on it. You know, hey, vaxxed or no vax, you're dying.
Hey,
I don't give a shit.
It could be worse. You could have to put on a whole bodysuit over them bubbles, and then got to roll around a bubble. Mask is small. I'm like
Bubble Boy. What was that? That John Travolta movie way back, didn't he? Was he Bubble Boy?
Yeah, it'd be that bubble. You can't do nothing in that bubble. You really messed up. I got to put my bubble on. How you gonna work out in the bubble?
But yeah. Who else was freaky like that? Howard Hughes was freaky like that, wasn't he? He was real paranoid of getting any type of germs, virus, everything. Yeah. Some of these people trip out and lose their mind. No, all I'm asking is, if you're out there and you're screwing around, hey, cover your face.
Yeah.
One other damn thing that we talked about, and it's another thing that's amazing to me, is we talked about cryptocurrency. And in fact, let's go back to you and I first. I think you're out of your damn mind if you invest in this shit.
I heard of people doing it, but you know what? At the end of the day, invest into some stocks, something with dividends, maybe a life insurance policy where you can take loans off of it or whatever. There are very other alternatives that you can invest in that are more consistent and stable and traditional compared to just jumping on a bandwagon with this crap. So
with this Bitcoin and other currencies. Yeah, but let's watch this video real quick because, we knew this kind of shit was going to happen. Fact is, we actually talked about it.
What's up, fam? Welcome back to Tom Crown, where we're bringing you the spiciest crypto news today. Crypto.com, a popular exchange that's been making waves in the space over the last year, has been hacked. What does this mean for you? What should you do? And what's going on? Stay tuned and we're going to answer this question and more. Over the last 24 hours, users of Crypto.com have complained about unauthorized withdrawals from their accounts. Some of these accounts, unfortunately, even had 2FA security active at the time. According to Crypto.com, only a small number of users were impacted by this hack, having funds withdrawn from their account bypassing security. We are waiting for comment on what will happen to those accounts, but what we do know is the actions Crypto.com has already taken. 12 hours ago, Crypto.com tweeted out saying that they would be pausing withdrawals shortly and that their team would be investigating and that all funds were safe. Swiftly taking action, they were able to lock down withdrawals, pledging to increase security. They have recommended that all users log back into their apps or exchange accounts to reset their F2A. This is of utmost importance. If you have a Crypto.com account, please log in right now and reset your F2A. They made a point to say that all funds are SAFU. So hopefully this is the end of the damage. We don't have a total number of assets lost yet, but we will keep you updated. Some users have complained on Twitter saying that upwards of $15,000 was withdrawn from their account after they had taken the security precautions of enabling F2A. In my opinion, Crypto.com has done a great job not just being transparent with its users and also reacting on the fly to prevent further damage. This brings our attention to a problem that is in the crypto space and seemingly becomes greater every year. Hacks are abundant. ImmuneFi found that in 2021, crypto hacks accounted for $10.2 billion worth of stolen assets. There were over 120 exploits or fraudulent rug pulls, and the highest of which was by the Poly Network, with $613 million pulled from the project maliciously. Hopefully none of you have been impacted by this, but this is a great reminder to everyone out there. Crypto is about decentralization. Not your keys, not your coins. Any assets held on any exchange are at risk at all times. And while this risk may be relatively low, it's something that everyone needs to be aware of and calculate in to their investing plan. Always use F2A security, and when you can, keep your coins in a cold wallet. This is the best way to keep your coins safe. This has been a short cryptocurrency news update. I'm Tom Crown. Thanks for watching.
Wow. I don't see how on earth you could have faith in your money being safe.
I don't really understand the crypto coin part. I didn't read into it deeply, but I don't feel comfortable.
No, I'm kind of scratching the surface like you. You know, when they start talking about F2A or two-factor authentication,
Mm-hmm.
and then again,
Alex.
I've heard of people getting screwed out of the money. Besides people hacking your ass, they forgot their password. There's no way to really recover your password.
How do you know the people from the crypto are not the ones that hacked it and stole the money from them and then said, "Hey, we've been hacked"? Could be the reach around.
Now you think like a gangster, Larry.
I'm just saying, trust no one, especially with money. Wouldn't it be smart? Wouldn't it be smart if you say, "Hey, we need to get these extra dollars. Let's hack everyone and invest their money like everyone has ever did in history. And then eventually we're going to bankrupt crypto and start over, but we already got the money. We call it something else."
Queen is listening to our conversation. She goes, "Yeah, it was in the contract that you signed."
I wouldn't trust
Did
them.
you forget to read? Did you forget to read that part?
The crypto, I wouldn't. I mean, I wouldn't hold it past them. I think crypto, the same company that got hacked, is the one that hacked everybody because they're not losing their money. I put money on everything that crypto hacked themselves.
I'm trying to.
Those people money.
I'm thinking, if I recall what the news said, they had lost like 90 million before they figured it out that, hey, something's freaking wrong here.
90 million. Not one, not two, not three. Why you wait to 90 million and say, wait a minute, we done lost $90 million of these people money? Because the thing about an investment, whether you lose or gain, if you lose, you lost. It's not a loan, it's an investment. And you can't get that back.
Larry. We're in the middle of a pandemic. We're short on customer service staff. I mean, what do you want? It's only $90 million.
Listen, if I check my account, I see 55 cents missing. Like, who the hell done stole 55 cents at my account? I'm calling the bank over that 55 cents. 90 million? That's not no alarm.
But hey, they were giving numbers bigger than that. What did he say from 2021? It was how many billion?
Okay, number to billions. So billions of dollars have been hacked. And then now all of a sudden it's a problem. I'm like, how much money do y'all have to lose?
Yeah.
They hacked themselves. Crypto hack crypto. It's a scam.
There are, and you might not make a ton of money if you go out, if you're invested in some type of a Roth IRA or throwing your money into some type of, insurance, what you can draw off and utilize or buy property, freaking property. I mean, goddamn, that's not going to ever decrease in value.
Yeah, I know. I heard about hacking somebody's property or hacking a IRA
I think
401k.
Something tangible, I would think would be more apropos. But hey, do what you feel,
Well, you know what happens: no risk, no reward, and greedy people will take more risks than others. And I think if you take a risk like that and you don't know much about it and you don't know the longevity of the company, if you take a loss, you take the L. Because the company is something new, and if people investing all this money into it, something's going to happen. If it's like an international online type thing, where come on, man, it's too easy.
I think that's the idea. Is it's an international type one type of universal money for the world or whatever the thing is. But yeah, I mean,
I smell a scandal coming, and watch down the line. Watch, it's going to be a scandal, and we're going to be talking about it.
Well, as we discussed, how do you regulate the worth? The value. I mean, is it like a stock? The more it trades, the more it goes up. The less it trades, the more it goes down. I mean, I believe that's probably how it works.
Yeah, but it's bringing in. But the thing about it is, since it's something new and it's something like commercial and it's fun, they got celebrities talking about investing money in it. A lot more people are gonna jump on the bandwagon compared to just a regular IRA or 401k.
Something boring like that. Or some boring bullshit like that.
Yeah, crypto coins, yeah. You know how people are. That's just the psychology of people. Then the sociology of people, if he does it, she does it, we're going to do it, try it out too. They bring everybody in, and there you go.
I guess it's either that or the casino, right? You're going to lose your money somewhere.
Yeah, you get drinks at the casino, though.
Oh, yeah, they give you free drinks. That's right. And the air is really nice.
Yeah, it's different when you drinking and losing compared to just sitting there like this on a computer.
You know, they're always feeding you. Yeah, they're always feeding you oxygen and drinks.
Yeah, you looking at your crypto account go down and down and down and down and down. But at the casino, you press the button.
Man, so you guys go up into Oklahoma ever?
I like going down there. I'm like, the only thing I hate about it, if you're not winning, I had a bad habit of doing this. I'll just buy like $20 worth of change.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be playing the nickels and quarters, and I'll be putting them in there and get my first drink. Then I'll put it in there, and I'll be looking around like, what's she taking all day to get the mother drinks at? You know, I'm just, you know, I don't do real gambling. I do drink gambling.
But that one just north of the state line, that's big.
Yeah, it's fun.
That is a big casino. I can't remember what the name of it is. Windstar.
Chicken Chow?
Windstar. Yeah. Jesus. I mean, that place is
like
freaking huge.
I took $50 and won $250, and then I shut it down.
Yeah, I did pretty well there, and I just collect my tickets.
Yeah.
When I start getting ahead, I collect my tickets, and I just get the hell out of Dodge.
Get something to eat and watch everybody else just smoke their cigarettes and drink their life away.
There you go.
I did mine. About the cigarettes, though.
Hey, let's move on to politics and the people. And you know what? One of my favorite people in the world is right from your home state of Texas. You got to know who I'm talking about.
Mr. Cruz.
Mr. Cruz. And let's see what I want to listen to Ted's Walk Back. Let's call it Ted's Walk Back, the new dance.
You never use words carelessly, and yet you called this a terror attack when by no definition was it a terror attack. That's a lie. You told that lie on purpose, and I'm wondering why you did.
What I was referring to are the limited number of people who engaged in violent attacks against police officers. Now, I think you and I both agree that if you assault a police officer, you should go to jail. I wasn't saying that the thousands of peaceful protesters supporting Donald Trump are somehow terrorists. I wasn't saying the millions of patriots across the country supporting President Trump are terrorists.
What you just said doesn't make sense. So if somebody assaults a cop, he should be charged and go to jail. I couldn't agree more. We have said that for years. But that person's still not a terrorist.
Of course, it would be ridiculous for me to be saying that the people standing up and protesting to follow the law were somehow terrorists. I was talking about people who commit violence against cops, and you and I both agree, if you commit violence against cops, you should go to jail. I have referred to people who violently assault police officers as terrorists. I've done so over and over and over again. If you look at all the assaults we've seen across the country, I've called that terrorism over and over again. That being said, Tucker, I agree with you. It was a mistake to say that yesterday, and the reason is what you just said, which is we've now had a year of Democrats in the media twisting words and trying to say that all of us are terrorists, trying to say you're a terrorist, I'm a terrorist.
I guess I just don't believe you. And I mean that with respect.
You ever see anybody moonwalk as good as Ted?
Ted is full of crap. You see, the funny part was he kept saying that we both agree. So he kept trying to pull that guy into his circle.
Tucker Carlson.
Yeah, he kept trying to pull Tucker Carlson to his circle. We both agree. That's a politician move. We both agree. And psychologically, you start believing, yeah, I agree with you. Okay.
Yeah, he was calling him out. No, you was calling all those peaceful guys that were protesting and trying to get into help out on the vote terrorists. How dare you?
Well, it ain't like they were rushing to like a voting center and held people up and made them vote for a certain party or whatever. So I wouldn't say I was act stupidity and an act of anger, and but I ain't gonna say we seen terrorism. We know what terrorism looks like, how it feels.
You know,
they were just a bunch of idiots.
You made a very interesting comment when you was talking about the military. And it's going to be interesting to see you after they subpoenaed all those, some of these communications on and or just prior to January 6th insurrection. One of the things was a memo that they came across and they're going to investigate. It'll be interesting when they come out with the details of that. Happens to be that they was talking about getting the military to actually go and seize the ballots, the voting machines.
Mm.
And then, I mean, I don't know what the idea, once the military's got them in your hands, why and what? And wait, the chief commander, that's the president. Well, they must have accidentally got destroyed. I guess I still win.
Right, man. It was all a setup. It was all a game. Trump played everybody. He's the leader. He got followers, and people will follow. People are followers naturally, and they fell for his crap, and he still got followers. What they did, what the people did, I ain't gonna say it was acts of terrorism because they just tried to. I don't know because we know real terrorism when it comes to like terrorism, terrorists, what they do to people, how they treat people. It was just, I still can't believe it because, like I say, they got away with murder doing that. They got away with murder. I'm disappointed in how the whole thing is handled, even with the aftermath of it, with Trump still subpoenaing this and this and this. Even they did. I'm just disappointed. The whole thing, it's.
Well, there's a lot of people dragging their damn feet. They're, I'm disappointed more in a person like Senator Cruz, who should be representing millions of people from the state of Texas, and then having some slide back like that, when in fact they were terrorists. That was a attack on our government.
Yeah.
I mean, let's call, a club and a spade, right?
Right. Man, you know what? Maybe because I done got so used to it. That's bad when you get used to the crap.
You think?
Yeah, look, I'm so used to like me being a black man, used to police officers terrorizing people, and I'm used to seeing people of color terrorizing other people of color. It's bad because I'm getting older and I'm thinking it's coming like I'm used to it. Ted Cruz, I wasn't surprised by anything he said. I wasn't shocked by him backsliding or whatever. And even with the thing with what they did when it comes to I wasn't even shocked. I was shocked that a lot of people got away with it and that they did it. But I was even more shocked that if it had been another nationality, ethnicity of what happened, it'd been a whole different outcome.
Oh, if you had a Hispanic uprising or a Black American uprising or a Polish American uprising, for God's sake, could you imagine that?
A lot of people have died.
But I mean, come on.
That's why I can't say it was an act of terrorism because nothing happened. If it was real terrorism, something should have happened.
I guess that's probably why we should probably not refer to him in that way. I'll roll back with you on that, but I will call him an insurrectionist.
Insurrectionist. And because something should have happened. If you look at I don't know the definition of terrorism, maybe we can look it up, but act of terrorism. Think about when the guy the guy from Oklahoma blew up the hospital, was a building. What was that? Then I forgot McFay, long time ago.
Oh yeah, the Oklahoma City bombing. Yeah, go ahead.
So these about the black guy riding around killing people in the car. And then you think about all the other things when people have actually murdered people and killed people. Now, so officer did die during that I'm gonna say resurrection.
That erection. Wow.
It wasn't erection.
Insurrection, yeah.
Insurrection. So an officer did die, or someone did die.
Yeah, there was several people that had died, and not necessarily, and an officer, and several, severely injured. I'm not sure if some are still hospitalized or not, but yeah.
That's why I say I don't think it was a true act of terrorism because their motive wasn't to really, their motive wasn't really to terrorize anyone. Their motive was I don't even know what was their motive. What was the point of it? Because usually terrorists have a point.
I think the point is the people that had gotten fired up from the speech that Trump gave, one is going to go down there and, voice that they thought that the election was stolen from the president and that the vice president should reject the electorals and declare Trump the winner and still president.
Yeah, because like we look at the Trade Center bombings, there's always an act, an effect, and a conclusion. You know what I'm saying? No, cause, the act, the effect, and conclusion. So the cause was whatever they did to make those guys mad. The effect was we're gonna bomb the buildings. The cause was a lot of people died. Conclusion was it changed our country and we start changing the way we do things. But when it came to that, the erection,
The erection.
into the erection, what was it? What was the cause? We know what the cause was. But all those other elements wasn't there. I just mentioned. Should have wrote them down. But I'm like, good, that's what I see. Anytime it's active terrorism, it's always like those elements. But this didn't have any of them. Well, it was no real conclusion because he still lost.
Right.
Nothing has changed.
Well, that's the whole thing, and when they, that whole hang Mike Pence bullshit, they had gallows hanging outside and stuff to hang. And he even made the comment, he goes, even if I wanted to, I don't have the power to, declare the electorals ineligible or invalid.
A lot of people lost during that.
So, I mean, I don't know, and what doesn't make any damn sense, I mean, if because you had a lot of Republicans, good people, that won in their areas, whether it be, a regional government or state government. I mean, so my question goes, I mean, is Donald Trump's name the only name on that frickin' ballot that's
it
wrong?
goes to show you, people don't know true politics. Donald Trump was not a true politician because at the end of the day, he still had connections with other Republicans that he could have used for him down the line, in the future. And
Right.
people, they don't know politics. Trump is not the only. If you know politics, one man or woman does not do the. How can I say it? One man or woman does not control the country, control the government. It's bits and pieces, So they don't even know politics. They just listen to Trump and they are liquored up high, whatever they did something stupid. They probably want to do it anyway. They just need somebody to say, okay, let's go ahead and do it.
Yeah, but okay, if it, you have to call it something because I mean, if you've seen news reports, these the peacekeepers, whatever the frick this left-wing group calls themselves or right-wing group calls themselves, they've showed them, bringing in bags and bags of guns and ammunition, all kinds of shit to the hotel in D.C., getting ready to play, security guard. In case anything went wrong. And they were part of the problem.
What happened here in America happens in other countries all the time, even worse, a lot worse. That's why I say I guess I'm getting immune to it, or it's sad that I shouldn't look at it as terrorism, but that's just how our country is, man.
Well, we have two different ideals, and and they call them left and right, and so I was like, what's the easiest way? I got a video that explains a little bit about what is left and right politics and where are you at?
Simple Show Foundation introduces the political spectrum. Meet Paul and Lena. They both care deeply about their community and want to ensure a brighter future for it. However, Paul and Lena disagree about the best way to remedy the social and economic problems. An argument soon erupts and they start calling each other names. Left-wing and right-wing for starters, and just before a simultaneous rage quit, commie and Nazi. That escalated quickly. What do all these words even mean? And is there any way that Paul and Lena can work together? To answer these questions, we need to understand the political spectrum. The first dimension of the spectrum is from left to right. This describes how much the government should be involved in the economy. Should the government run schools, hospitals, and redistribute wealth? At the far left, all private property is abolished and resources are communally owned. Or should there be smaller governmental influence, less taxes, regulations and restrictions? On the extreme right, we find totally free market capitalism. The vertical axis of the spectrum deals with social dimension. As you move towards the bottom, the rights and freedoms of the individual become more and more important. At its most extreme, we find anarchists. While at the top of the graph, people believe in group rights over individuals. At the very top, we find totalitarian regimes, communists on the left and Nazis on the right. Of course, most people's political opinions are not at any of the extremes of either the social or economic dimensions. This graph is a two-divisional spectrum, which means that individuals can be positioned anywhere inside it. When Paul's and Lena's political beliefs are plotted on the spectrum, they see that although they have some very different ideas about the economy, they are both firmly in the bottom half, which means they respect each other's individual rights like freedom of speech and are opposed to totalitarian ideologies like communism and Nazism. Paul and Lena are delighted. Seeing how much they have in common helps them have more productive conversations, and they discover that their different perspectives are useful in coming up with diverse solutions to the problems facing their community. If you would like to find out your position on the political spectrum or would like to learn more, then visit the Political Compass and take their short online questionnaire.
Pretty simple.
Well, was that semi-explanatory?
Yeah, I'm a little bit of both of them.
Me too.
Yeah, you know, individualism, collectivism, you got to work together because it brings in diversity.
That's why, I've made it. I don't hold any political parties. I don't like, I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. I like when a collective group can work together. And you can tell in your own local government, if the Democrats, Republicans, independents, are working well together, or there needs to be a change in who's, the anchor.
That's why you have votes. You vote different people in, vote them out.
And if we have all Republicans and all Democrats, if it's running well, if it's a well-oiled machine and it's providing its functionality to the people, for the people, good. Leave it like it is.
Well, but the problem is...
And then some people, so you're a traditionalist. Not necessarily, because I'm very, adapted to change.
Yeah, well, the problem, too, is the titles, the Republican, Democrat, and what was it, Republican, Democrat, Independent. And then we have the...
You've got, Tea Party, all kinds of other ones, I guess.
But it's the title. If you erase the titles and just have the person, it wouldn't be much of an argument. But the Republican Democrat thing is an argument. It's what the Republicans stand for, supposedly, and what the Democrat stands for, supposedly.
Yeah, they got them in the opposite ends of the spectrum. And I think, and that may be true if you're a very far right or a very far left.
Yeah,
and that's the problem. I think is some people take the viewpoint of some. I'm glad I brought that up. One of my other favorites in the government, Mitch McConnell. I want you to listen to what he has to say, and then we're going to come back.
Well, the concern is misplaced because if you look at the statistics, African American voters are voting in just as high a percentage as Americans. A recent survey, 94% of Americans thought it was easy to vote. This is not a problem.
And all new tonight at 6, those comments from the Senate Minority Leader of Kentucky, Mitch McConnell, made yesterday during that news conference after 2 senators broke away from their party to change the Senate filibuster rules, making way for voting rights legislation. When asked what his message was for voters of color ahead of November's midterm election, McConnell responded by comparing African Americans to Americans. The comments drawing criticism from a number of people, including former state representative and current Senate candidate Charles Booker. Charles Booker tweeting this message out saying, quote, "Being black doesn't make you less of an American, no matter what this craven man thinks." He followed up with another tweet saying, "I am no less American than Mitch McConnell." WHS 11 News contacted Senator McConnell's office about this comment, and in a statement they sent to us today, he says, quote, "I have consistently pointed to the record high turnout for all voters in the 2020 election, including African Americans."
Do full of shit. He's worse than my Texas guy.
Isn't he? I mean, and I think that kind of sums up some things. When we look at somebody like, McConnell, you look at somebody like, Ted Cruz, and then we've got Greg Jordan here in Ohio. I mean, they're just far right idiots, in my opinion. And I believe that what happens is, and then again, some people look at Bernie on the far left side, on the Democratic side, and say the same damn thing. And I think that's what happens. Sometimes you get these particular politicians who are very boisterous, who get, the news time, who get their face into the camera. That's part of the game. And people think, is that really what Republicans are all like? Or is that really what Democrats think? And no. Not all of them think like that person.
Right, but they got that fool up there talking.
But now you got the stigma.
And then when he said that, and it goes to show you how America really looks at black people. How America really looks.
Is that crazy?
It's how they look at us. It's how they look at us as African Americans and then Americans. That's how they look at us. Or black people. He didn't want to. He couldn't say nigga. If he could have got away with it, he'd say, well, the niggas and then Americans. He couldn't say that, so he had to say it. But that's how they look at us. They will always look at us like that because this country was built on that hate, that view of the worth of Africans in America, and it's been that way. It's going to always be that way.
No, don't. You can back up that. It's not always going to be that way, Larry. Will we be? Maybe not in our lifetime.
In my lifetime, it's going to be that way.
But I think you're going to see change. I mean, let's just look at,
No, we're talking about politics. No, we're talking about politics. We ain't talking about just everybody.
It's going to happen. Yeah, politics. I mean, we have here in Toledo, Ohio, where we're at, the fire chief had retired, and we now have the first in the United States black female fire chief.
Okay, but we got to get more black people in.
So,
the Senate, the House.
Yes, but it is happening.
That's why I say.
And look what Biden. And I don't know that one of the Supreme Court justices is going to retire at the end of this term. And Biden has already made a comment. His next appointment to the Supreme Court will be a black female for the Supreme Court.
Well, I don't see. They shouldn't just do that. Just have token black people.
No, I don't think.
That's what I'm weary of.
No, I don't.
That's what I'm weary of. She's probably qualified.
But you need to have representation.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. But I don't trust them. I don't trust them because Tim, you got to understand, there are sellout black people.
Well, there's a sellout Mexican named Ted Cruz down in your state.
Yeah, Ted Cruz will sell out Mexicans. Black people will sell out black people. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that all white people look at black people like that. All I'm saying is when it comes to the government, when it comes to the way our country is built in our government, there's not enough diversity in our government. It ain't just got to be black. It can be Asians. It can be some Hispanics. They got more. I think they have more black people in the government running jobs than they have Hispanic people. Hispanic people have contributed to this country. Asian people have contributed to the country. So they can be in there too. They're not part of it. So, but I'm saying this is where our government is and the way the leaders are, they're still stacking it. They're putting in bits and pieces. But Tim, it's still not diverse enough.
But you know what? I wonder if I didn't do anything on that. When we was talking about cryptocurrency, and anyhow, and I want to go back to something that I was really interested in, because when we was talking about between the all this money.
Mm-hmm.
And I found an interesting statistic that came across, and I caught my ear. It was on the news that the top 10 wealthiest people in the world, their combined wealth, this is the top 10, went from 700 billion to 1.5 trillion dollars during the pandemic.
I bet I know why too.
I bet I know why too. You know, and that actually calculates out too, and I don't know who calculated this out, but somebody on it did it. $15,000 per second increase in their wealth. I'm like, $15,000 per second.
So that means those wealthy individuals, think about them during the pandemic. Nobody was really working. The government was giving out subsidies everywhere. Medicines were coming in and the money was going to the medicines. So you know who owns these pharmaceutical companies. You know that those what the people are tied into the government. So I'm not surprised.
The top two that made the list was Elon Musk, and his worth now is $268 billion. And then you know who Musk is, the rocket guy that likes to send shit to space.
Yeah. The Amazon guy?
Yeah. And then Jeff Bezos. He was second with $188 billion.
They tied into a bunch of stuff. So.
In wealth. And
yeah. What did Jay-Z do? Did Jay-Z make any money, Lil Wayne?
I didn't know. Wayne might have been on the list. Wayne, you're an asshole. Did Wayne make the list?
Easy, baby.
He may have, but in any regards, you know, here's an interesting thing, and they're touching on it a little bit too. Check out this video.
You know what they said? They said if all those rich people would take X amount of dollars and give to all the poor people, they can end all of that. And they will still be rich. If they take their monies and spread them across the world, they will still be rich. You can end hunger. You can
Did
end
you
a lot
see
of
they
things.
could lose 99% of their wealth? Did you catch that? And
Yeah,
still
and
be
still be-
richer than anybody else.
It goes to show you they're connected. You know, they're connected, and then
And that
how you
comes
gonna
back to when we were talking earlier about the group that likes to meet over in Europe. What is it, every 5 years?
Yeah, 5 years. It's just 3 of them. We didn't talk about the third one, but yes, it's all a scam. You know, and they talking about inequality. That's one thing I would say. You more optimistic than I am, but inequality when it comes to it hasn't changed, and I don't think it will even change. Now they're allowing other people, they're allowing women to have more positions, but they're not allowing women to have the real positions. You know, so I'm like, when they start just really opening up the door and being more diverse across the board, that's when you see real change, and then you can divide these monies. But as long as they got certain people in the stranglehold, and those certain people connect to other certain people that are rich, you're never going to see real change. you and I can make some changes, but and Sylvia can, but and my family can, your family can, but we talking about the rich upper echelon. We talking about that 1%. We talking about the government, the true leaders that run this country and pull strings, our puppet masters. They don't care about it. Ain't no money in equality. It's never been.
No, I mean, I think they're making, like I said, I see some slow advances. Is there going to be equality? You know, eventually, I believe there will be. Are we going to see it? I doubt it very seriously. I remember, I think when I was working back some years ago, security for a board of directors meeting, and out of 12 individuals, one was a female.
Right.
That was on the board of directors.
Well, you know
so
what?
I mean, so they did have some representation, and I'm thinking probably things have changed quite a bit now. There's probably more CEOs.
Yeah. No, it's been some change, and equality, it starts with your family. It starts with your race of people. It starts with your gender. Once women start being equal to other women, and men start being equal to other men, and Black people start being equal to other Black people, white people start being equal to white people, then once everybody develop their equality attitude, then you merge them all together, and then you start making some changes. But inequality is it's in the Black community, it's in the white community, it's in the Hispanic community, men and women. I've seen it between kids. My daughter's 10. I see her kids and her friends, they already developing inequalities, treating certain people different. So it starts with the individual. So, and that's when you change everything.
Don't you think that there's, at times, and I think especially behind, let's say that people condone some of this suppression of you because of your race or because of your sex or because of your religion, and behind closed doors, as long as I can get away with it, and especially if I'm in a position of power. And that even...
Tell me, it's sad because I see it everywhere. It's human nature. People just get used to it. People just say, okay, that's how it is. I'm cool with it. But you can't fight alone. You can do all these commercials all you want, have these marches all you want, but at the end of the day, are you really together? Are you really together all the time, or are you just together that day?
Right.
Cause.
Yeah, there's a lot of these people speak out of both sides of the mouth. But my question is, and especially, I want to show a quick video, and then you talk about somebody that is actually condoning the behavior because this person had to know this shit wasn't right, right from the very beginning. But obviously, since they partook in it, they condoned it.
Tonight's humiliation for the Queen's second son. Royal sources confirming to NBC News he will no longer be called His Royal Highness, a title he was born with. Buckingham Palace saying in a statement, with the Queen's approval and agreement, the Duke of York's military affiliations and royal patronages have been returned to the Queen. The statement ending, he is defending this case as a private citizen. Virginia Giuffre is suing Prince Andrew for alleged sexual assault when she was 17 years old. She says she was trafficked by the prince's friend, the late Jeffrey Epstein.
It was a really scary time in my life. I had just been abused by a member of a royal family.
The allegations continue despite Prince Andrew's years of denials, including saying he does not remember this photograph with Giuffre and Ghislaine Maxwell, who was convicted last month on federal sex trafficking charges.
I have no recollection of ever meeting this lady. None whatsoever.
The dramatic palace announcement comes a day after a US judge rejected the prince's bid to have the case thrown out, potentially leaving him to face cross-examination in court. This was a day the Queen wanted to avoid, but the palace clearly believes the damage to the royal family is too much. A source close to Prince Andrew says he will continue to defend himself, but tonight it looks like he will have to do so alone.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.
Hey, that's smart because she doesn't want that to become their legacy.
I mean, yeah, let me get rid of this thing.
And then he has a picture with him and a girl. I'm like, come on, bro.
You
He had
know,
a picture with her. She got convicted of sex trafficking. It sounded like Bill Clinton. I don't
mean,
reckon.
how do
I didn't
you-
have sexual relations.
if you're Larry, you're the governor of Texas, and somebody invites you over, and all of a sudden, here's some young 17-year-old hottie that wants to bang your nuts off. You're not gonna think, now this shit ain't right.
Yes, it's wrong. And you need to get out. You
And
shouldn't be
I-
taking pictures.
You know, yeah. I mean, it's obvious what that whole setup was all about.
He's
I mean,
guilty.
don't be freaking naive.
And you know what?
And the
This
Queen obviously figured it out too. The Queen probably, chastised
They
him the
know.
same thing. She was like, "What are you? You think everybody's stupid and not know why he was hanging out with Jeff Epstein to tag some ass?"
Man, they probably paid her to keep her quiet or something like that. I'm surprised she's not dead. Honestly, I'm surprised she didn't get a hitman and hit her yet and get rid of it. Just shut. Now they can't. You see what I'm saying? Now they can't. I'm surprised because he's guilty. I'm shocked that they even let it go that far. I'm pretty sure they could have paid her off or gave her something, or they were. And she blackmailed him. I don't know.
I have no
Something.
idea. Oh, what
Somebody
was-
didn't get paid off. Something went wrong.
You know what somebody said? Facts. You're right. Pierce Myers popped a little comment in. Yeah, it's the fucking
Something went wrong, man.
But you know,
I'm
no,
like-
I mean, and that's like the oppression of any other individual that rolls back into what George is trying to do with the vote.
Right.
You know, I mean, if you really put it into perspective, when I say I want no Sunday voting, and I don't want any truckloads of people coming in, they're looking at it as ballot harvesting or whatever. No. What happens is, when you take that out of the equation, who you really hurting? The black voter. How does the black voter predominantly get to the polls? The church, usually you'll see the Baptist bus coming up with a truckload of congregation, and they go in and vote, correct?
Yeah.
I mean, let's keep that real. So how do you alleviate the black vote? Well, no more Sunday voting.
Man, that has changed. See, that's one thing to vote, because a long time ago, long time ago, when back in civil rights and all that crap, not civil rights, but the Civil War, they were like, if you as soon as you let a black man vote or something like that, it's going to be a black president. And it eventually happened.
Yep.
They knew the black vote was powerful.
And now you get down into the southern states where, I mean, they still are racist as it gets. Let's keep this part real. That's one of the reasons we came back up north. Honest to God,
It's him. That's what disappoints me, because that's why I say there has been some change, but until you change that attitude and you change that way of thinking, or or you change the submissibility of the people that allow it to happen, it's always going to happen. Always going to be that way. That's why it starts with the individual.
Yep, but yeah.
I know some guys that are from Mississippi. They say it's still bad down there. I'm like, really?
Well, I mean,
2022. Why?
Think about the South. I mean, and the entire South. I mean, that not the entire South, but you get into the Cotton Belt.
The majority of it.
Okay, and I mean, it took them what? And that happened down in was it Houston that still had these slaves loading ships for 50 years after the Emancipation Proclamation. So it took them, Texans, 50 years to tell these guys. I forgot.
They knew, yeah. But like I say, Tim, it's money and racism, it's money and suppression, it's money and the division of people. There's money in that. There's no money in equality. Because if everybody's equal, I mean, everybody's getting their hand in the bag, and there's no money in people. There's no money in equality. that's why I say there's not going to be any change, because nobody will be that rich anymore. People want to be rich and stay rich. So you have to keep people divided. You have to have inequality. And as long as people agree they want to be rich, it's always going to be what's going on now. Because of money, not because of people. Money is money. You can't change money, but you can change people. Am I right?
You're 100%. Hey, on the real part, let's go back to if I'm making $15,000 per second, I can tell a lot of people what the fuck to do.
Oh my God. But think about it. If you make it 15,000 per second, think about how you can change the world and help people. 15,000 a second. No one needs that much money. You can't spend that much money in a lifetime. You can change the world and help people.
But
instead of flying to the moon.
Instead of trying to fly to the moon or whatever. Yeah. Speaking of that, I understand, speaking of a big freaking lot of waste of money and just these people with their dreams, they're talking about, what is that new stuff, Facebook? They changed it to,
I know.
Meta.
Meta, yeah, right.
Now they're talking about this metaverse stuff, I guess, where you can do like virtual, I'm not sure what it's all about yet. I'm not familiar with what the metaverse is. But apparently they're going to put a metaverse type planes area up in the International Space Station.
Well, that's technology and that's evolution. So
a metaverse, so you can go in there and like play games. What are you doing, Rob?
you know what I'm saying? We ain't really got money like this, so we got to roll with it. It ain't like say, hey, I'm in the top 10%. We ain't doing that shit. I can't see it.
But no, that's the thing that saddens me so much. And I mean, we have a friend in the Kingdom of Tonga that we still have not heard from. That had where the eruption happened.
Mm-hmm.
And it had the tsunami just devastate them. And I mean, yeah, we've been going, and think of what's happened to those people. I mean, it messed up their sewage. So they've got no drinking water. They've obviously got no food. And you've got people like, Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos that can take care of that. Like, no worries.
Let's fly to space.
No, I'd rather fly to space.
And forget these people that can't drink water and these kids. That's what I'm saying, man. The money is the root of all evil. And as long as you have rich people, you're always going to have these issues because it takes money to have money. That's what I'm saying. But rich people suck.
They do.
I don't want to be filthy rich.
We ought to get T-shirts. We'll start selling T-shirts. See if we can get rich. Rich people suck.
The 1% suck. Walk around, I'll do my chest like this. The rich 1% suck or something. Then I'll do, it's so much. Money is so insignificant, but it is so powerful because you can have money in your hand and give it away. It means really nothing in your hand until you give it away, because you can have a bunch of money, but you just got a bunch of money. So it's insignificant. But once you give it away, you helping out the economy. You're helping out a person. You're helping out someone buy a car, start a family, go to college. As it fluctuates around the world, the United States, somebody's been helped with your money. That's how important those rich people money are, but they're just sitting on it. It's insignificant why they're sitting on it, because I can say I'm the richest person in the world. Okay, but what are you going to do with your money? What are you going to do with it?
Yeah, I wish that, they would redirect it into something smart.
Yeah, because flying to space, what did he do? What was that? What was the purpose?
It's kind of like Uber to space. What does it last? 5 minutes? They're up there like 5 minutes, or it's not even that long, I believe.
He spent millions of dollars.
You get the float for like 5 minutes. You come back down, and now you don't know what a ticket would cost you. I've got no idea. We ought to look into what that costs.
Billions, yeah. Money to do that.
Freaking money for some fun flight that lasts. I can go to the amusement park and get that shit.
Right. Or I can just take my money and buy a computer and do podcasts with Tim on Tim's Tid Bits. I can see my money. You know what I'm saying? I can use my money.
Speaking of making money, you are a personal trainer, and what are your tips for this week, Larry?
Yes. Larry's tips for this week I want to start by saying my company is LRE Fitness Solutions. We keep you moving. People, when you get a trainer, they're going to give you an assessment, and the assessment is going to consist of your daily lifestyle and actually your physical ability to work out. Make sure you have the right idea of what you want to do when you get a trainer. If you plan on just building muscle and toning up, make sure you stick with that and tell your trainer, this is what I want to do. Let's stick with that. Never let your trainer push you outside your comfort zone of what you want to achieve, because you're paying them, him or her. So you need to make sure that they train you the way you want to be trained and you get the gains you want. So make sure you stay in control of what you're doing with your trainer. Okay? That's Larry's tips. You can find me on Facebook at LRE Fitness, and you can also LRE Fitness Solutions. You can also find me on LinkedIn at Larry Estelle, and I'm also on Twitter, Estelle Junior Larry.
Estelle Larry J. Hey, man. And you can follow me, Tim McGiffin. You can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Get a hold of me just about anywhere. Just Google my name. And easiest way to get a hold of us, and especially if you've got a topic maybe you'd like us to discuss, get a hold of us at www.thequeensilvershow.com and pop an email right from there. Bam. Anyhow, Larry, you got anything else?
No, good show.
I think we covered a couple of topics, and I'm glad that we had some audience that enjoyed what we were talking about too.
We agreed on a couple of things, disagreed on a few things, but at the end of the day,
that's what we do, though.
Yeah.
That's what makes this. We're supposed to disagree.
Yeah. So
and, that's what makes this whole country great. And I mean, just don't try to dictate.
Yeah, disagreements end up with agreements.
Yep.
That's how it works.
It's pretty easy.
You disagree, you talk about it. Okay, I'll meet you halfway.
Hell, and we did it in an hour and covered all kinds of important topics. I think they should be looking at us for the next political appointment.
We should get an Emmy or something.
I believe you're right.
I can for a whole suit.
Anyhow, yeah, shout out Peace Myers. Appreciate you following it. And next time, hey, call into the show next time. Always keep it right up there at the top of the screen. Love to hear what you have to say.
Yeah.
Okay, hey, anyhow, until next week, you'll see later.